Coming up next on the IP Talk stage, Nikos Zervas from CAST, presenting Leapfrogging Your Competition through Smart IP Selection.
Let me give you first a bit of background on CAST. At CAST, we have been selling IP, silicon IP, for the last 18 years. And throughout those years, we have been growing our business by developing, aggregating, and integrating IP. And we have evolved our practices as the industry matures. Throughout all those years, we have been financially stable and slowly growing. And a key to that is that we never had external investors pushing us to take risks that we could not afford. So what have we learned throughout that process? Of course, good products matter. Silicon IP needs to be of good quality, it needs to be verified, the deliverables need to be on a specific form, but what matters most is our customers. And customers in this business, they are looking for rapid and to the point responses, both pre-sales and post-sales. They are looking for excellent technical support, and they want to feel that they are dealing with a partner that cares about their success and not with someone that will take their money and run. So we are proud to have companies like Fastech spreading the word about CAST being or offering a better IP experience. So enough of CAST. Smart IP selection. It is really hard to differentiate your product today, and it gets even harder if you're using the exact same building blocks like anyone else does. It used to be the case in the 80s that people would say you never get fired by buying an IBM, but some people went with Intel or Apple and they got more successful. So an IP, the product itself, can differentiate your offering, your product. And it would do that if it's a good match, its specification is a good match for what you're trying to do. A provider, though, can differentiate your business. You can get better licensing terms, better business terms, faster support, better support, and you can have a partner that can contribute to your success, not just a vendor. So let me give you some examples of what we think being smart IP selections, smart IP choices, and I will start with a 32-bit processor, which is what is in the heart of every SoC today. The obvious and safe choice is, of course, ARM, and nobody can be criticized for picking ARM for their design because it's a great product, it's a good product. However, there are other choices out there that could be a better fit for your specific design. One of them is the BA22. So if you take a quick look at the raw numbers, you're going to see that the BA22 is at least as good as anyone else. It is pretty fast. You can see here how it compares with Cortex M0 and M3. It is small, starts from 15,000 gates, low power, and has everything that people are working with processors are looking for. So a debugging environment, software development environment, evaluation kits, ported operating systems, libraries, and so on and so forth. But what makes it a really clever choice is, first, its code density. Code density, especially for deeply embedded applications, can be important, can have a great impact on the area and the power. So there are many cases where the memory is the major contributor to power and area, and then when you have smaller code, that directly translates to smaller memories, so savings on those two factors. Here you see how the BA22 compares with Thumb2, ARM, instruction sets, PowerPC, and MIPS for the XISB benchmarks. In this case, this is a 20% savings over what is supposed to be the best out there in the market today. So that's important. The second one is the business terms for the BA22 are just better for applications that are going for high volumes and where cost per unit is important, because we do not mandate royalties. If you take royalties out of such a product, then you could go a step ahead, pricing-wise, from your competition. And then when you do your budgeting, we make things simpler, because by the time you pay the license fee for the core, you also get the development environment, the operating systems, everything that you need at no extra charge. So this is also one of the parameters that you should take into account. And then the third parameter that makes the BA22 a smart choice is time to market. We try to make the integration of the BA22 as easy as possible, as fast as possible. And we try to capitalize on our 8051 experience. We have been out there with 8051s for the last 12 years, and we make the BA22 look as simple as an 8051 by integrating peripherals with it. You need UARTs and GPIOs and timers, we would integrate it and deliver it to you. You need further, more complex stuff like Ethernet Max or USB, we would do exactly the same. So it would be much faster for you to design with a BA22 than with anything else. This is a comment from Insilica saying that they got from specs to tape out within 5 months, which is quite impressive for a system like that. So let's move to our next example. This is H.264. H.264 has been used in all kinds of applications, from satellites to smartphones, automotive. Practically everything that has video capabilities nowadays uses H.264. And when we're talking about video, it is the encoder that mandates, that defines the quality you will be getting. And quality is what the end users understand. We all have said at some point in time, you know, I bought this new smartphone, but the video quality is just not good enough. Or you could be thrilled by your new camera video quality. So the quality is extremely important here, but it's not the only thing. H.264 is a complex design block that, if not designed properly, it can explode your memory requirements, your memory bandwidth, and therefore the power, or can exhaust your processor by offloading a lot of processing to that. And you also need to worry about issues like latencies, bit rates, and so on. So going for the obvious choices that anyone would go for is not exactly smart. At Cast, through the years, we have came up with a H.264 encoder that is a great match for a specific type of applications. And these are the live streaming applications where quality matters, but hardware also matters. Hardware requirements also matters. So our core would give you great quality, but under really small latency, which is important for live streaming. It operates on a standalone basis, so it doesn't really need your processor to do anything else than configure it, and it would run on its own. And it has relatively low memory size and bandwidth requirements, so it is easier to integrate. And that means, again, smaller development times, faster time to market. We also make it easy for you to evaluate pre-sales, what you're getting, by providing you development kits like this one, or like the one that we are showing over to our booth. And most importantly, we will get you in touch with our experts in order to define whether what we are offering is a good match for your application. If it's not, we will not sell it to you. And we may help you also to make a better choice. So H.264 is another one, another core that can differentiate your product, and you need to be making smart selections there. The third example is image compression. Image compression to most of us is equivalent to JPEG, still image compression, or okay, JPEG 2000 to some others. But again, this is an area where you have to take into account a lot of different parameters, and there's no such thing like a one-size-fits-all. So you have to take into account quality, lossless versus lossy, how good quality you want, what's the bandwidth you need, do you need rate control or not, what are the memory requirements, and so on and so forth. So someone needs to evaluate all the different options in terms of standards and algorithms that are out there. And at CAST, we offer the widest and deepest set of choices from JPEG, baseline or extended, Scala-Do, JPEG 2000, H.264 Intra, lossless JPEG, JPEG LS. And what makes it even more, our offering even more interesting to you, is that we would work with you to define which out of those is the better fit for what you need to do. I'm going to give you an example of the example here. And that's back to a tier 1 customer that approached us at some point. And these guys, they wanted lossless quality because they were using large displays and high resolution. They could not afford losing any quality, but they want their success for their chip depending on the power that the thing would consume. And the power was the bigger contributor was a frame buffer. So they needed to minimize the bandwidth and the size of that buffer. So we worked with them, and we ended up with using the lossless JPEG encoder and decoder, along with some tricks that we did for them. And the end result is that they were using half the size of any other competitor they had, and the bandwidth to that, the average bandwidth to that frame buffer was, I think, 1/3 that every other competitor had. So they had a successful product, and we were really happy to help them getting there. So this brings me to the last point I wanted to make. It's not just about the product. You need to consider the provider that you are working with, how critical your business is to them. We're doing Silicon IP. Other people may be in the design services, and you might build some side work for them, side business for them. You don't really want to be in such a position. Is your provider able to innovate? You all need the latest and greatest for your success. Are they able to support you? Do you get access to the actual code developers? When trouble comes, you don't want to be dealing with an FAE that sort of knows things. You want to be dealing with the actual guys that develop the thing and can solve your problem fast. And then, can you rely on your vendor? Will they be around for a long while? Are they, apart from their products being proven, are their people being proven? Are their processes being proven? Do you feel that those guys know what they are doing? So with that, let me summarize. In order to leapfrog your competition, you need to look beyond the safe and obvious choices. And of course, at CAST, we have a wide family of smart choices, from processors to compression to peripherals, memory controllers, and interconnects. And you can find information about all that at ChipEstimate.com. And I would be around after this talk to answer any questions you may have. Thank you for your attention.